how are you? Here we are. I'm sorry for yesterday. I was supposed to be here at 6 p.m., but at 6 p.m. I was still at the office. Yeah, because yesterday has been an incredible day at work. So I thought I was able to make it. Said, well, the worst I can start around 30 minutes later, but in reality, I was at home around 1 hour later, simply because, as you know, the traffic at that time was really traffic jam. So, not possible. Anyway, I decided, of course, to just, you know, postpone to today. I hope that you are happy about that. And of course, today we're gonna sketch again together. We're gonna invent something, we're gonna do something. I was thinking which exercise or what we could do together so that it can be kind of instructional for you, educative. And I thought that many times when we do sketches, we do lots of nice sketches, but we never really go on detailing on details. For example, when we do wheels design, or when we do front lights or back lights, or when we have to draw, I don't know, a handle, you know, lots of little things that for professional designers are extremely important because they do design those elements. We all work on those elements, and we have to make those elements, those things, you know. So I thought that today we could sketch some of those, and then of course I will just have a nice sketching, free sketching session on an exterior of a car, and we'll see what will come out. All right. So now it is 6:05 here, so 5 minutes after 6 p.m. We are only two people connected. It's not that bad because I am sure more people will come later on, but we can already, I guess, we can already start. So I will put first of all my top camera, as you can see, this is my top camera. And let's switch to my top camera, I think should be okay, let's see. Yes, more like that. I think that there is a little distortion, it's very strange. Maybe it's the type of angle of the camera. But anyway, no big deal. We're gonna start, and let's see. So when we sketch, let me take off my glasses. So when we sketch lights, okay. For example, I have this is a front corner, okay, of my car. Many years ago, we used to make lights like this, you know. You see how many cars have we used to have lights like this, you know. Many, especially in Europe, where this was kind of orange, and this was our, you know, light bulb. So many years ago, we used to have this type of configuration. We had a plastic reflector there, and there was just a small light bulb inside, in the center, and here we had a bigger light bulb, okay, with this type of reflector which is semi-spherical, chrome, okay, and then we had the plastic box, you know, which was this one. And then we had the front glass with some of the lines, you know, for the light. So when I make, I try to make a nice sketch of this part. Well, we used to, you know, we used to do something like this, you know, to configure and give the feeling of the lights, the light reflector. You see? Now you already have an idea. And then, of course, this was a dark plastic box. We had a little radius there. And then, of course, we have the light beam coming this way, and therefore here it's in shadow, you know, here too. And this part was a little bit lighter because we had the light beam. Then in this area we had sort of a reflection on the plastic part. And on the side we had the reflection on the glass of the plastic part. You see? So there you have you can see, you can see now this is a classic light of a few years ago. Okay, let's make a little bit better those lines on the glass. Then technology has changed a lot since then, because today we have LED, and with LEDs we can do so many things. For example, the first thing, we reduce the size, and that's very important, because every designer always dreamed to have, to have those front lights very slim, very sleek, very sexy, and we used to have those things that had an important size, because if we consider this height, it's almost was between 180 to 140, depending the type of the lamp, light bulb. And then in terms of width, also was very big, and all this was very big too. So today all this changed, okay? And today we can imagine something that is much, much sleeker. So today, if we make a kind, let's say, a modern type of light, many of us on their sketches, they make shapes like this. Ciao Mal, I'm fine, thanks. I hope you are fine too. So when we make those shapes, what do we really have? This is something that we have to consider, because now we are getting into something that is more complex, and it's also much more interesting, of course. We can do lots of more design because there is a lot of more flexibility, thanks to the LED, the light guides, and all those, the full LED. But still, we must have all the same functions we used to have with the old technology. This is old techno. All right, so big versus slim with new type of geometries and graphics. Great amount. I'm very happy that you're doing well. So, first of all, we have to consider one thing very important. That when we do graphics like this, we have one part that is dedicated to light guide or LEDs. And that's called the DRL, which is that light signature that is always on cars, even during the daylight, okay? So this becomes a signature of your design. So it's very important the way you do it, because a lots of cars, sadly, they look alike. But you can do something that is different, because the technology gives you the opportunity, to make new shapes. And then you have another part, which is this lower part here, or that you can put somewhere else on the car, that has the full LED module. Okay, I write here, full LED module. And this full LED module, basically, it's much smaller than the classical light bulb or double light bulb. They're very small. So if I make a little sketch of a LED module, it's something like this. Can you see? Yes. Like that. With a little bit of roundness to the front glass. There is a plastic element inside. And this is the body with all in the back the connectors, the connectors. You can have one or you can have two of them. So one is in general is for cheaper cars, okay? But when you have two of those plus your light signature, that's high-end type of cars. You can put more money. So let's imagine already the geometry of the box, of the light box. So this part here, in this case we will have only one. So as you can see, this is an empty box now. And I will put inside of that one of those modules, okay? So let's draw it. Now, it's not placed right next to the edge. It's always around here, look. That distance, okay? So we always have to imagine to keep some distance between where it starts, where it is placed, and the edge of the end of the light box. Okay, so I will have this element that will be like that. It will have a little frame round. Okay. In general, the glass, the front glass, this one which is round, has that type of section. It is like frosted white. Some of them are frosted white. So even during the daylight, when it's off, you can still feel a little bit of white. Okay, all that part is white. So now let's make the shading of the light box. This one is black. The frame of this element is black, and it's done on purpose because we want maximum contrast. So we don't want to see it black in black, we don't want to see too much of the design of this element here, of this full LED module. We don't care. What we want to see is just that light, with that design that comes out from the darkness. So now let's add a little bit of extra shadow. Because you have to consider this is inside. So there is the shadow of that part and also the shadow of this part. and also the shadow of this part here. You see now? Now we are sketching this headlamp from top view, right? Yes, we are watching our car, you know, more or less this way. Very close. Nice little Fiat 126. This is the one I restyled in 1992. Even the wheels are my design. This was my first project, the first project I ever done in my life in Fiat. The first one, before the Fiat 600. And then I made this one. This came out 2 years later. But this one was my first experience. Alright. Now we have the top part. That in general it's all white, because here we have, you know, the best part, our light signature, you know, nice graphics, and imagine all this will be on, light on, you know, during the night, during the day. So we have to consider how do that. Now I would like to make some little details here, because we have a little, you know, a little flat part of this plastic box. You see, the section is like this, and then like that, and then like this. Now, there is also another thing that we have to do. In general, when we make those light bulbs here, we do some decoration, you know, technical type of decoration, because that makes the whole thing more special. So, for example, why not here, you know, to put some technical lines. For example, like this, look. And you can do this on the plastic part, it's very easy. It's not more expensive. It comes with the design, so it's for free in a way. You know, it does not provoke an extra cost. And let's say that we leave a little space with nothing, and then we start again. And then we have the top side surface, and on this one also we can do something. So let's imagine that we keep on doing this also here. So I put my lines as a guide, so I know where I had to start and where I had to finish. And also let's do a little bit there too. Of course, always following perspective, you know, making sure that everything looks right. You see? Now it looks better. I show you closer. You see? Now it looks more finished, it looks like you really thought about it. And it looks like an interesting piece. This part we can make a little bit darker. Here too. You see? And now let's say that we finished, we finished this part of our front light. Of course, there is a transparent polycarbonate glass here, so we can make few lines like that to make understand, to give the idea, as you can see, to give the idea that we have that glass. Now we have to take care of this, because here is the DRL, but this is very thick. So, first of all, when we have the DRL, we always have a serigraphy that is hiding all around the guide area where the DRL light technology is, so that we don't see the electronic stuff. We don't want to see that. We want to see something really nice and clean. So let's put this. So in general, we have a good, a black serigraphy here. So let's draw that serigraphy. And here we'll have a point, of course. Here now we'll follow the line, we follow this, it's parallel, okay? Okay, so now we have our serigraphy line, and we know the perimeter will be black. So let's do it. And of course that surface is gloss, yeah? Because this is a glass. It's a polycarbonate glass. So after we will apply a few reflections so that we can understand the type of surface we have. Okay, there you go. And of course, you see here we have that reflection that we put before. Then we just bring it over there, like that. You see? Well, that's a nice sketch of a front light. If you have to make some research sketches for your front design of your car sketch, and you have to look for something that looks really cool, that you can then do on your car sketch, on your Photoshop, and then you can model on an alias, with the alias or a Rhinoceros or whatever software. This sketch will tell you a lot of things about how to make it. That's why it's also very useful. And then we can do just a little bit of shading, just a little bit. You see? Now, if I make a section, if I make a section of this, of course we said this section here goes inside, then we have the roundness of our light bulb, the full LED module, then we go this way. That's the section. And then we can imagine that here we have our hood. So we have the cut line, and then our hood here. You see? All right, so is it clear so far? Now we're gonna see also a backlight. The last thing I would like to tell you about this. Look in this corner, okay? So let's say that we have this type of, this is our hood, that's our cut line, and this is our, this part is this part, okay? This one is this one. So then we have our module. And we said that we have a little section there, and our module is here, our LED module. So a light box will look like this, with the connectors here and the cable. All right. Then on top we will have the light guide, which it's going to be here. And then there will be a sort of a plastic support in the back to keep this in place, that will go all over, all around, okay? Will go all around there. And therefore it's the plastic part that will do something like this. And then of course you have all the space here, you know, to put the connectors, and then it will be something like that. So you can see, you know, the dimension, how it's divided in two parts. You know, one dedicated to the full LED, which is this part, and the other one dedicated to the guideline or the LEDs that is on top. And both of them, they are separated. They are not on the same light box. The reason is very simple, because you want to make sure that the light of this part does not go inside of the full LED module, and vice versa. You don't want that this light goes filters inside, because that will create very strange reflections, and usually those are considered like very bad quality stuff. In general, very cheap cars are done like that, and that's not very nice. So that's the first thing. So far, is it clear to you? You know, the way we did. I show you again very close. For those that just arrived late, we are making an exercise of some detailing sketches, front light, with the DRL and the full module, full LED module. You know, before I explained that we used to have this type of technology, okay? Now we don't have this technology anymore because this is really old. And we have the LED technology that gives us a lot of extra, you know, a lot of extra flexibility and creativity. Now, just in case you want to offer me a coffee, you know how to do. You just click the thanks button. But anyway, if you don't, it's okay. But please put the like on this video and subscribe, just in case you are new. Subscribe to this channel. All right, so now let's see what happens when we sketch the backlight. Okay, so now don't forget that when we used to have the old technology, a backlight would look more or less like this. You know, It was a kind of rectangular shape. We could even cut the shape, okay? And then it was divided, you know, between every compartment had a function, right? Remember? And we used to have the fog backlight, the light, directional light, the brakes, and the other light that was always on. Everything was red. And then we used to have also the white backlight, but sometimes was also displaced somewhere else. Okay, now all this is finished. Today, thanks to the LED technology, here we can get something really interesting. And you can see, for example, one of the best backlights or front lights is done by Audi. If you look, or some Chinese company, they are doing some stuff that's really beautiful. So let's say that we are sketching always for this car, okay? So this is my design. And if I look at this design as a front light, how can it inspire me to make something good and cohesive as a backlight? Let's see. So let's suppose that I have a back, you know, that is like that. So this is the back part of my car, okay? With a nice radius. It comes out and then it makes, you know, my bumper and stuff. So we are looking at this element, the backlight. Thank you, women. So this part here. Now when we make the sketch, we do like that. We put the right proportions, you know, we cut it nice. Then we put a little bit of shading to show where it's turning. We put few lines and we say, oh nice, it's very cool. Yeah, but what does it mean? Now if I want to go in detail, because this design has been chosen and our design manager or director says, okay, next time let's see all details on your back, you know, on the back of your car design, because we really want to see. All right, so what the hell is this? Now we have to design. Okay, so I start sketching the same perspective, okay? I am watching the car this way, okay? This way. Because this way I can see the side, I can see the front, I can go inside and see a little bit of the three-dimensional part, okay? Yeah, we're gonna make it simple. I don't want to do anything very complicated, but at the same time, it must be interesting. It has to have something, some feature that it looks really interesting, you know. All right, so first of all, I will cut it there. This is back, okay? Our logo is here somewhere. And on the side, I will cut it like this. Just like our sketch. So let's concentrate on this. Let's see what happens. So here we have a little bit of roundness because the back of the car, it's a little bit crown, okay? So I'm sketching the boundaries, you know, to make sure that the geometry, the general geometry, it's correct. And here it's more or less like that, because it's closing from the side. You see? Now we have really a nice volume. And then it meets here, you see? But a car is not done this way. There is always a little radius. So we had to make a fillet. And now you have to think just like if you were making your model on a computer, or if you are making your clay model. What type of fillet do I put here? Well, if I look at my sketch, it looks like a sporty coupe type of tail, you know. So I would go for something that is kind of a little harsh, you know, not too round. Something like that. More or less like a BMW. Alright, so I have the exterior surface of my backlight. Now the backlight is the same thing as the other one. You know, it goes inside. It goes inside. And if I had to sketch in transparency, my backlight would look like this. You know, it would look like that. You see? And then you put that inside the hole in the back, and you have a fixing points that are in this area, and there is one clips on the side to make sure that the whole thing is really well blocked. All right. I make a sharp point, okay? Just a second. All right. So sharp points it's necessary because we will do some details and we must have some clean lines. So this time here I would like to do something a little bit different. Look. Now I will show you. At the moment it's not clear yet, but you will see. So basically what did I do? I created a surface like this inside. You understand? So I have all that surface that will be red, a nice brilliant red, and this one too. And the same thing on the side. So this time it's like I have a frame, you know, that is bented inside. It's an invitation to get inside, you see, of that surface, that proportion. Let's see what happens. And then here I must add another line because the plastic part cannot end just like a V shape. It must have a little board, you know, vertical, which is this one. The one I'm doing now. Now I will show you, don't worry. I'll finish first and then I will show you close to the camera. So you see, look at the section. It goes inside, It comes out inclinated and then it comes down straight. That little thing, that thing is made to have a quality, gap and flash with the rest of the car, with the metal sheet of the car, to make sure that we don't have things that don't look good once we put them together. So, and then there is another thing we can do, because as you discovered today, backlight develop themselves a lot into depth, with a little piece of sculpture that are made of plexiglass or semi-plexiglass that they get the light from the back, and they fractionate the lights with the light beams that are very, very fine, very nice, and they become like real sculpture that are lighted sculpture. So if I make a line there, I can have some elements like this. I show you. And this will be only in this view. On the side, we will have to do something different. Look, can you see? Now those are all elements that are inclinated, semi-transparent, with the front that is frosted, so it will capture the light, and all the side walls, they are transparent. Yeah, can you imagine the element? So and on the side, we cannot do this. We have to do something that will be kind of smooth with the graphics. Graphics on it. It's like a screen. So we're gonna make that screen. You see? This one. It's like a piece of sheet metal or plastic with the graphics on top, semi-transparent, and in the back there will be the light that will come out only from these little windows that we will open on that part. And of course the little window can be, a sort of vertical vertical little windows. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So now I will apply a little bit of shading so that we understand a little bit better what the hell we're doing, okay? So first of all, I have to make sure that we understand the three-dimensional effect. Okay, so the inner part will be darker, of course. And you have to imagine that everything I leave white is the light, you know, coming out. You see? Now it's more, now you understand better. And on the side, I'll do this, you know, so I can show the little vertical windows. There you go. So this is just an example. Huh? You can imagine, you have to imagine that those elements, you know, they are here in the back, very long, and at the end you have all LEDs in the back that are high intensity LEDs that are pushing the light through. You understand? So there is a nice little game of lights in there. And then we can imagine the rest of the car like that, you know. Okay, so thank you, Imran. Thank you. So, what do you think so far? Do you think that this is useful? Then we have to put some reflection on the glass, like that. You see? And here we go, you know, so this is what the rough sketch, you know, what I could do. And this is when you go more into detailing, you know, and then you start really thinking what's going on in there, what's the space, what's the proportion, what can I add, you know, how to develop a real design. This is almost like product design sketching, you know, product design ideation, I would say, which is correct, huh? So when I look both of them, you know, they look like they belong to the same family, same design family. Let's make a little bit of cleaner lines. Okay. All right, so after this, I will go to drink a glass of water, not of wine, water, and then I will sketch a car, okay? I'll just be back. Oh, 1 sec, 1 minute, okay? Less than a minute. I'll be there. Okay, here I am. It's getting cold here. I don't know in your country if it's cold or not, but here it's getting really chilly. All right, so I'm trying to see if I can do something that it's kind of, kind of classy. Florus, ciao! How are you? Yes, 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 from Strat. Yes, I remember. I still have the picture, huh? Florus, I still have the picture. You know, I should come and visit your school very soon. I had the opportunity to talk to my friend, and we said that yes, I should come one of these days to visit you guys with pleasure. So how is life? You see how the idea of the front light comes here? You see? You know, it's a little bit this, huh? It's not that different. So you start with a little quick thing, and then you get the idea. Okay, this is just a line sketch just to start, but then I will trace it and fix all the mistakes. It's just to get the proportion. You see, that's not bad. So a sedan. You still have the picture very yes, I do. Flores, I still have the picture. Yeah, I remember very well. When I was showing my latest project for EVIA, the hydrogen master. Okay, so let's see here. What the hell I'm doing? So is it, guys, this or not? What do you think, guys? Let's do kind of quick so that I get an idea. You see, I'm blocking in the main shapes. Because I have to understand a little bit better my proportions, you know. And I have a problem here. You see, it's not correct. Yeah, now it's better. Okay, so here something is wrong. All right, so you know what I do now? I will just, wait a moment, let me check my, now I will just retrace it and I will clean it up, okay? Let's say that we're gonna do a little bit more design now, because this is really a quick sketch. So I take my canson paper, marker paper. This is really nice. Huh? Today, if we manually hand sketch, can the client accept it? Of course, yes. Why not? Why should I accept? If you do a good sketch, of course they can. I would say that the ideation should be freehand. Now you can do some really good freehand stuff on your Photoshop. Why not? On Procreate, why not? But at the same time, you have to consider the final renderings and stuff. You have to use digital to make sure that, you know, let's do more like that. Okay, now I make my nice point, you see. So first problem we have here. So this has to be longer. So at least here. Then the back, it's a little bit too long. Check, I'm always checking perspective, huh? Always. Look, I'm putting more details now because I really want to understand, you know, the body. the body of this car. If we manage, okay, I already read that message. That's for Imran. Okay, so now I put my wheel and my wheel well. You see my wheel well? It's here. That's my shadow. Now I put the front wheel. This is my wheel well here. It looks like an American old Lincoln car. This is a restyling of the old Lincoln, you know. Okay, so let's take this off. So this could be more or less our car. Now I will try to, you know, to clean up some lines. I'm also trying to reproportion a little bit those lines, you know, to make sure that they all go well together. Okay, so let's start putting a little bit of reflections. So this part here is in shadow. And then, because I have that line there, maybe I have another one there, going to this point here. So like that. My wheel well, and now the back wheel. And we do the shadow on the ground. maybe this is too low. So maybe we can cut it, why not? You see, you can always apply changes. I mean, if you consider there is some problem with proportions, all right, now a little bit of shading. So now, what type of, here we can put the lights we did before. You see, we got a nice little car. I mean, it's not a little car, it's a big car, but it's a quickie sketch. Okay, now, the best way to check if perspective is correct, if there are still mistakes to correct, we watch it this way. So, let's see. Yeah, there is one here. It's too much here. Should be more like that. You see? I should have cut more like this. You see? With that, it's much better. It's a perspective, right? It's a perspective problem. All right, friends, I think that we worked for today. We did a lot of interesting things. Okay, I won't just remind you, you know, we were very much concentrated on front lights and back lights. With the new one we made, according to new technology, so this is something you have to think about. The back one, okay? And then we did a quick sketch. What is it? A quick sketch to have fun. You know, I invite you always, you know, to do those sketches, because those sketches help you to keep, you know, to keep your brain and your hand in training. You know, even if it's not, this is not a design, it's an ugly car, but the fact of doing it, it helps you, you know, to train yourself. It's not, you don't have to have always the fantastic super sketch every single time with a super idea. That's not important. What is important is that you exercise. You see? Just like me, just the way I do. Look, at the end it's a nice little sketch that you have in your, you know, your portfolio or your collection of sketches. Yeah, you're right. It was too long. So I'm going to do something now. Look. Let's see if this will help. All right, so I take a dark marker. So that I can really Yeah, but this one doesn't work, so I need another one. We're gonna make a quick background, okay? Just a quick background. It will help to read much better the sketch. And, also, and the most important thing, we're gonna erase the little mistake there. We don't see that anymore. You see? Now it's better. Okay guys, I changed camera. Here I am. I hope you had fun today too. So as I said, I'm sorry for yesterday that I was not here. So I postponed yesterday live to today. And I would say that this is it for today. And I'll see you next week. And this time I think that next Tuesday I will be here at 6 p.m. as usual. And I'll do my best. Just in case I can't, I will write a message on the website, on YouTube, on my channel, so that you can see, the little post saying whether there will be some little changes about the timing. Okay, so at the end this sketch was better probably than the one I did at the end. When I look at this and then I look at this, it looks like this one is better proportion. You see, perspective also. The back is better this one, I think. Also more modern here. And this became a sort of, 80s design. So, well, that's okay. Well, it's the fun of it, It's the fun of sketching. When you go and look back, if you let it go like a full day, and tomorrow I come back and see again those sketches, I will see right away all the mistakes I made. Okay, thank you very much. I also done some sketch, but they are digital. Well, that's okay. I said digital sketches are fine as long as they are really well done, because that's the most important thing. If you go to digital, that means that you sketch well by hand, and therefore you can go on digital and do even better. That's that is the objective. Okay, thank you very much. I wish you a very good evening or day according to your dual time, and I'll see you next week. Ciao.